Radio. There we go. Hello, felicitations. Hello, and good evening. Is that a Diet Sunkist? What are you drinking? Or do I want to know? Oh, is that root beer? Oh, is that ginger? That's ginger ale. Never mind. I didn't know if you were doing that for...
This is the official beverage of Michigan, Verner's Ginger Ale.
Oh.
And at first, you couldn't get it anywhere in the South until Kroger came down, and Kroger is headquartered in Michigan. So thank heavens I can get the elixir of Michigan now. Enjoy.
The elixir of Michigan.
Why not just use the real stuff, Canada Dry?
Because we have to pay a tariff on that now.
Oh, that's stupid.
Or you could have 7-Up Tropical.
Look at the colors in that can. It
is. It's very nice. It's
very enticing there with all those tropical covers.
It is.
You should
it
just
has
go back
hints of peach and mango in it.
You should just go back to Diet Coke, Chris.
Well, if I drank one now, I would be up, and I got to get up at like 5 in the morning. So I need to not have more caffeine. And everything. Cosbricks is in the chat. Hello, Cosbricks. So we're missing a few of our friends. I know some are coming in a little bit, but we have a couple that'll be out tonight. So
finally, we can get a word in edgewise.
That's right. Well, you know what the funny thing is, and we had a big show last week. Boone came in, and it was great. And I hope maybe he'll pop in again. He's always welcome. But so all of a sudden, we didn't get a big room full, and everybody's like, "Well, I'm going to talk," because you're the second one. Not complaining, but just saying. And I'm like, look, conversation is conversation. So I have a build to do. So if y'all talk and I won't interrupt you, that's fine. But welcome everybody to the show, by the way. And thanks for those. I hear a lot of people who then listen to us later in the week. And I really appreciate that. I even looked at we're probably up to 600 entire members of people who subscribe to the show, and that's okay, but I super appreciate you guys tuning in. But let me just report, I actually purchased Lego this week, so let me report. I purchased an old set on clearance. I got this for like $6. This is the Speed Champions. That's not the new wave of Speed Champions, so it is missing some of the new pieces. But for $6, I got a new set yesterday, and I got this one, and this one is super cool. The new Bugatti Speed Champion is very tasty.
Nice.
And it is also basically it's all my colors of spaceships in a thing. But just like most Speed Champions, if you leave the hair, they didn't even try to include a helmet for the driver because it would have never fit. With the hair, the thing doesn't sit level and everything. But this is a really, really nice build, a really sleek car. I know nothing about it. I can't pronounce whatever the name of it is. And if Mark was here, I would be made fun of if I tried. So I'm not going to even attempt. But this one doesn't have as fancy in some ways of the techniques that are in these. But it may just be because I'm used to it. Because it's got really good techniques in it. But, it's kind of like, oh, I've done that before. So the canopy is great. The printing on the white on the canopy, by the way, is actually better than they've been doing with this. So anyway, I highly recommend you pick it up. And
you've got Jeff right here. He could probably pronounce the vehicle.
I'm not very good with the Bugatti names. I'll be honest.
All right, I'll give it a whirl. You ready? It is Cinto Dicey. I don't know. Anyway, it's right here.
Yeah.
Who knows? I have no idea.
That looks Italian to me.
Just remember,
that's one of them boogitties, and I like them.
There are no silent letters in Italian. You pronounce everything.
Oh yeah, that's true. And last but not least, I actually went on Facebook Marketplace and bought 2 of these locally. And they were pre-owned, but I've checked them inside and all the parts are there, and they're individually wrapped up, all the little figures and everything. So it's always good to find a Facebook seller who is very OCD. So I got 2 of these while the getting's good, mainly for the pink one because they are I've traded out most of the pink guys. Then I'm like, well, I didn't leave me one, and so I have one. But then I just happened to get these. Were not super expensive, so I made sure to grab some.
Are you army building pink space people now?
I just need some. I was like, well, I mean, that was the one that was selling very well when I was needing to sell down some stuff, and you can make $25 on that on Whatnot easy when you put.
Are you serious? 25? So you sold when the market was high, but now you're buying back in and the market's cool off.
That's right. See, I got these for less than $20 a piece, and I got the whole thing. So, but as I go forward through the catalog, I'll be using these guys.
We talk about Lego like it's stockbrokers.
That's right. That's what it is. When we get this old, we're like, well, sell and buy and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so anybody else make any purchases? It was August 1st. Did anybody make any August 1st purchases? Did you guys?
I did not. I've been ordering parts though. I ordered, way too much tan plate from Bricks and Pieces for the castle work that I'm doing. So
I wish you lived close by. I'd be happy to sell you some of my tan.
What kind of castle are you working on there, Jeff?
It's still my spiral castle. I'm just hold on.
Look! No one in Canada has a.
I've got all my pathways. I've got all my pathways that I need to. I'm rebuilding a few because they flex too much because it's just a row of brick on plate. So I'm rebuilding them using all plate just to make it stronger. There were a couple that I had to fix, and I've already fixed one. Well, I've already fixed 2 of them. That one's not one of them. But yeah, and I'm also adding little number tiles. Like this is one of the calendar bricks from years ago on a bracket, so that'll sit inside the top of the castle. Like there's holes that I can put things into. That did not sound right, but that way I know what number panel or what number. How can I say it? What path number belongs on which castle? So
I was gonna ask if the numbers are part of your scavenger hunt, but they're actually for you, not for the kids.
Yeah, they're for me.
Okay.
The all these paths are removable so that once the castle's set up, for example, castle is mostly kind of set up there, at least the skeleton of it. So I can drop in the walls. I can just drop the paths on. I don't have to put all the figures out, at least in the interior of the castle. But it's always been an issue of which path is this, and I've got like a foam, like I've got a bin with a couple of layers of foam in there that I've made myself. That I've basically stitched the foam onto it, into a shape, and on there I've got I've used Sharpie and written on the foam, but it's very hard to read to see the numbers. So I'm trying to make it simpler. I just realized I've been trying to think of something to actually put on that foam so that I can see the numbers clearer. And I just realized today the little pizza box saver thingies, those little circles they put in the middle of the pizzas?
Yeah.
The boxes don't collapse. You can get them on Amazon for like $14 for 100. I don't need 100. I need 20. But I'm going to grab those, basically write a number on it, and stick that into the foam.
You just need to order more pizza at the store.
No, they actually don't have them in my pizza boxes, but yeah, just that way I've got a more legible number to see. So I'm just trying to simplify the setup and takedown so that when I pull this off of module number 13, I know it's number 13. I can find 13 easily in one of the padded boxes and put them in. So.
And I can verify for any viewers that Jeff's organization is very specific. So he actually has cut out pieces of foam. So like when he puts things in the bins, like only certain sections will slot in, and it's all quite precise. When I helped him take it apart in Atlanta, I didn't know where the things went, so he'd be like, "No, not that one, not that one," because I
And
need
this
the
is why
other
I'm trying to make it more simpler,
So-
just to speed up the process. But
I'd like to think that my ignorance maybe nudged him to labeling things better.
well, yeah, that's it. Totally, it's all you, Matt. Yeah, I'll agree. The other weird thing is I've noticed that some of my number bricks are slightly yellowing, even though they've never been in the sun.
Mm.
And it's only like this has been sitting in a stack. Basically, I've just got them in a bin here. Like there's threes on the side, and then there's the stack in the middle. And the middle stack is the ones that are seeming to color, even though there's nothing really shining on them. So it's just kind of weird.
My most of the yellowing that I've had is not because it's been in the sun. It's been in a box in the dark, but it's oxidizing. So,
okay.
I was told there'd be no science.
I don't know the science. Although, pulled out my cafe corner, and to use it for the cafe corner, to use it for something, and it was starting to yellow. So,
are you serious?
Yeah, like the white bricks in it were.
Oh yeah, white bricks do that. Yeah,
but I mean, the cafe corner is rare, but the bricks in it, you can make a cafe corner. There's nothing super specific to it. Yeah. So
I did.
Yeah.
It was too much money to buy it, the authentic one. So
now the one that makes me cry, and this happened, I had the original, the one everybody doesn't like, the one that was the factory set, the
blue
light
one.
blue building. Yeah, those bricks also have turned, but they did that years ago. So those very rare blue bricks are brown.
It's weird how blue can discolor. Like it's, to me, I understand white discoloring. But like, and gray changes, but like, why does blue change but not red? I know it's probably science and stuff.
Red does change color too. The really old red is a lighter shade now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
But I think it takes a lot longer.
Hopefully,
I just need to figure out how to like intentionally fade my new gray into something that approximates old gray.
You can.
That's easy.
You can do that. Do you just have 20 years? How does it work?
I can tell you it's probably about 10 years. I had the second Star Destroyer set, so the one that was completely enclosed, just the ball. That was my wedding gift from my ex now. And I had built it and I put it up in my office at work, right close to the fluorescent lights. And 10 years later, we divorced. So I took it down. I took it away from the office and I took it apart because why do I want it together? Anyway. And all the outside gray plates now look old gray on the outside and new gray on the inside. So.
Yeah. I have a Rock Raiders figure, one of the really, with all the armor and stuff on him, Rock Raiders dude. And he looks half new gray, half old gray because he was exposed into the sun or something on a shelf. So yeah, it can happen for sure. For sure. Hey, Autumn, good to see you. Moto, I see you there. So yeah, you can turn it into old gray. I don't know, Jeff, you and Magnus probably remember, and I've mentioned it a couple times. Back in the day, before Lego Star Wars was a thing, a guy made a Millennium Falcon back in the old days, and he used yellowed and faded brick on it, and he used the white had turned all yellow and all that kind of stuff. And I remember it being amazing because it was perfect for the age of Millennium Falcon and back in the day, and that was really, really cool. So
you can definitely use it to your advantage if you're intentional about it.
Yeah. Okay, so we can't show it. Have y'all seen the rumored picture of the Enterprise D floating on the internet? It doesn't impress.
It looks bad.
It does. I mean, I've seen previews of things, and then I'm like, oh, it looks better with good shots, but I kind of see the pieces that I think are being used, and I'm like, man, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings who are a friend that may be working on stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, ooh, it looks a little tough. The figures look probably pretty good, but maybe that's just a faked picture, and that would be good.
Was it just me, or did the saucer section not look round.
It looked chunky.
It looked more of an oval, and as I remember, the Enterprise was always a round saucer section.
Well, the original Enterprise is the Enterprise D is an oval. It's wider than it is long.
Lift up your glasses.
Well, I'm going to look at the picture now that I may have.
It is oval.
Is it?
It is.
Okay, well, let's rephrase that then. Well, okay. Yeah, all right, I can see it. I'll shut up.
No.
I'm thinking of the A versus the D.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
I mean, I understand them doing the D, but man, if they'd have done the movie Enterprise A or whatever, that would have been the cat's meow. So we'll see. It's a rumored picture and a leak, and it could be a production or a bad photo or a little bit of both, or not even the set. So, or I'm refraining judgment and everything. And then, of course, there's been there's also been there's been AI generated what the new Death Star playset after descriptions are the new set, and they're all wrong. So don't believe any of that stuff. But is Matt, are you going to drop $1,000 on a Lego Star Wars set? You're not. Why not?
Well, for one thing, I'm trying to pay off my hobby credit card and not add to it. So I would say that in general, like the playset versions of things have generally disappointed me. I mean, there is an exception. I would say the Ewok Village I liked a lot. The Hoth, some of the Hoth stuff's okay, but like they did that Death Star. What was it? Where it was like, no, the Cloud City playset thing was terrible. Like aesthetically, it was very unsatisfying.
Right.
And from what I understand, the new version is more like that kind of a playset and not like the shape of a ball, which the old version was. Like I would say the old version, the $400 version, at least, it's a sphere, so it has the silhouette. But if it's like flat and it's just like a playset of various scenes, that's a big no for me.
Yeah, I agree. Do you remember back in the 80s when Empire Strikes Back came out and the playset came out that was the Exeter, whatever, the Darth Vader's Superstar Destroyer playset? Do you remember that Superstar? It was the dumbest looking toy ever. Have you never seen it?
I don't remember. I don't recall seeing this. So
okay, hang on.
I'll have to Google. Oh, okay.
I'll do it.
Just pull yours out of the storage.
I never had one. I went to friend Jeremy's house. He had them all.
The only vehicle I had as a kid was the Sandcrawler, or was the Luke's little speeder. Which, I mean, all the other kids had cool spaceships, but I only had the speeder. It was lame. I felt like I was the lame kid.
That's a terrible picture of it. Let me find. Talk amongst yourselves.
Even though the Death Star playset that they created for action figures, which was like that three level thing, was kind of lame. I mean, I went over to some friend's house and they had it, and you could like do like the swing across the chasm, but it really wasn't that much fun.
Wait. Are you dissing the toy that proved to me that my parents didn't care for me? Don't be doing that. I never got it. Okay.
Well, let's just say if
we all had a toy like that.
Yeah.
If I could go back in time, I would much rather have an X-wing and a TIE fighter than that Death Star playset.
Yeah.
When I was
cool.
a kid,
I worked at an elevator. That was what was cool.
when I was a kid sometime in the 80s, I really wanted Optimus Prime, and I really wanted 6080, the Lion Castle or whatever that castle is called. And my mom asked me which of them I would rather have, and I was 9 or something, and I was like, I don't know. So instead of just choosing one of them, like I never got either of those, and so I had to like I think eventually a friend of mine gave me Optimus Prime when I was like in hospital over Christmas, and he just felt sorry for me, so he gave me his old one instead of giving it to his little brother. And then the Lego castle I ended up getting as a student in a yard sale. Like We all have a toy like that. We just didn't get from our parents.
Some tough mothering. Okay, you're going to be indecisive, then I won't give you either.
Or was that the toy of the century or the toy of the year that year, and she just couldn't get it?
There's Steve.
Hey,
Hey, Steve.
What's up?
I was told he wouldn't be here.
I
said
was
he
told
might
that
not.
too.
It's all lies.
right.
It's all lies.
All lies. Here, let me share this.
See, Steve's
it is.
probably so old he didn't even probably know about that toy. Oh yeah, that was a crappy.
Oh,
Oof.
is that really a Star Destroyer though? I mean, that's
It
like,
says Star Destroyer right there.
It's
the
the
other way, though.
bridge.
It's the bridge. It has the chamber in it and a gun and places for all your bounty hunters to stand and look.
It's Darth Vader's Star Destroyer. He probably had like the smaller one that was next to the Palpatine's Star Destroyer.
In the movie, he exits from the chamber and immediately starts talking about bounty hunters. Right? Isn't that how it worked?
Yeah, I don't know why Princess Leia is hanging upside down right there, but
Wait,
there we
it
go.
was
that Leia?
1888.
I think so.
That's
So
so
what's the
cheap.
year it was made?
It was $18 for that right there.
1980
Is that
J.C.
Leia?
Penney catalog.
Yeah.
Oh, the hours I spent looking at that catalog,
Heck yeah.
wishing for things.
Yeah. But yeah, my friend had it and he was like, man, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm like, no, it's really not. It's just not. And it had a thing where there's a little piece of orange plastic that looks like a hologram from the Emperor or something like that. And I'm like, that's not even the right color. Anyway, it was not cool. But yeah, you could hang somebody for some reason upside down for Darth Vader to torture them. And yeah, and it didn't come with any of the figures either. So it is just that.
Oh, yeah, there's this disclaimer up at the top that, or down near the bottom that says figures displayed something.
Where figures
shown not included.
Not included. Yeah.
Uses 2 C batteries. C's.
Steve's like, what's that?
What we learned is that Chris was that guy, that Star Wars fan is like, it's not movie accurate.
That's right. Well, it was. Like, because remember the stormtrooper transport? I'm like, my friend had that from Sears, and I'm like, well, that's not in a movie. You can't play with that. That's not right, So, but he had the micro fleet. I was about to say. So he also had the little micro fleet with the little metal die cast figures and everything. I like those better because you had more scenes. Like the Hoth play set for that was cool because you could shoot Luke out the window and all this kind of stuff. It was really, really cool. So, but talking about the Death Star play set, that was one of my faves that I wanted. He had it, and I've always wanted to recreate that in Lego to scale with Lego figures. I think that would be really cool. Now that there's elevator parts and stuff like that, you could do it. So.
All the kids these days would walk past it at the show and be like, Dad, what is that?
That's right.
The
Dad be like, I had that when I had that Lego set when I was a kid. No, you did not.
Shut up, Dad. You're so embarrassing.
That's right. Anyway. Well, Steve, you're here. We will not blow you up on the screen. What is going on in your world?
Absolutely nothing.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been like, I thought I had an idea for what I'm going to build next and tried building a little bit of it and decided I couldn't pull it off. And I've rinsed and repeated that like 2 or 3 times now. So I'm like, I got nothing. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm building. I have like no desire to be down here. It's kind of depressing a little bit, but like, I don't know. That's all I got. I'm excited about the Spider-Man CMS though. Like,
yeah,
really excited about them.
They don't do
when
much.
do those
for me,
drop?
to be honest.
When do those come out, Steve?
September 1st, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it September? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the collectible minifigures always release the same time of the year, like January, September, and May. I think it was.
Well, I can tell you the current collectible has really been flying off the shelves. They love those F1 crappy little cars.
There's a few. They're really popular with the Lego influencer group crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all Chris cares about. So the influencers.
That's right. I'm an influencer. I'm influencing 16s of people right now. So
Millions of people.
tens of people. So
Does that include the 5 of us or the 4 of us or no?
I hope not. For my ego, no. You add 5 more, so 4 more.
For all the 21s of people.
Y'all are influencing me. I make up my own mind.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, that's probably where that went. I had an extra piece, and I'm like, I don't know where that went. I'm not digging that back out. I'm building this. Speaking of F1, I'm building this one I got for.
He goes and he rips on it, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm building F1."
But he's
That's
building
right.
like last year's F1, not this year's.
Yeah, I mean, this is a on clearance one, so I figured I would give it a whirl before I tear it apart.
Is it like a Lego City F1 or something?
No, they did an F1 car before the F1 Speed Champion series, and this one is one they redid in that series. But I found it at Walmart like super cheap, so I went ahead and grabbed it. But it, I mean, it's got some newer parts that I like. It's got some of the non-graded cheese wedges in it, and so I like that. But
I got this guy from Brick World. It was the giveaway.
oh, wait. Is that one of the new Speed Champions?
Yeah, it's the Red Bull one.
Yeah, that's one of the new series. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So wait, so you were at where? Well, you were at Brick World, and Magnus, you were at Brick Fair, correct?
Brick Fair Chantilly.
Yeah. So
Which is formerly Brick Fair Nova, but now there are 2 Brick Fairs in Nova. So this is the one, the original Brick Fair Nova.
I got. Hang on, I got it up for my influence right there. I just had to say it. Oh,
She's
Zujab
talking to me.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, she probably was. I almost grabbed that one, but I grabbed this one. I grabbed the Bugatti instead, just because of the Kirby white parts, which is what I'm made out of as well. And so I'm excited about that. So, all right. So Magnus, since you're here and you're the only one that went to Brick Fair, how was Brick Fair Chantilly?
Brick Fair Chantilly was great. I have been lucky enough to go to that event, I think every single time they've done it, for many, many years. And I think, for those of us who have been doing this for a long time, there is not quite the novelty of like being at a massive con of that size, just full of Lego. But it is wonderful to see old friends. It's great to meet new people, new builders, be inspired, and just be in that space. And a couple of things I'll talk about some of the great builds I saw, but before then, 2 things I kind of took away is that this is a really crazy world we live in right now, and it's a stressful time for lots of us, and it is wonderful to just have something in your life where you can go and just 98% not think about that at all and just be immersed in Lego. And if you have a little stressor, it is about,
Don't touch my build.
Well, or it's like, am I going to get this? Am I going to be able to haggle this person down on some set I'm trying to buy from them, or am I going to, am I which oh no, I can't decide between which sandwich I want to get at at the sandwich store. Like these are the best kinds of problems to have right now.
Right.
So
Right.
It's wonderful to have a thing in your life where you can just go and be immersed in positive creativity, and everyone there is in a good mood, and that is just a valuable, priceless thing to have in your life. So whatever you do, it's Lego, it's something else, that's a gift. Another thing that struck me is that I've always thought of Brick Fair as, it starts on Wednesday, and if you want to do the whole thing, you kind of need to take 3 days vacation. and then you spend a ton of money on, registration, maybe a hotel, even feeding yourself adds up, plus whatever Lego you decide to buy. And last year, I sold an old set that I had bought many years earlier, and I just never built. And I sold it to someone for I think I bought it for $100 or $200, and I sold it for $600. And I had never really done anything like that before, and it sort of opened my eyes to something that many other people have understood for many years. But that if you've been building Lego for a long time, you probably have a lot of Lego that you don't use, you haven't used in a long time, and you could sell it for a decent price. And you could come away from an event like this, if you're able to sell your stuff at the yard sale, you might be able to make your money back, so the event doesn't cost you any money at all. Or you might even be able to come away from the event with more money in your pocket than the money you showed up with, even after you've bought a bit of Lego. And I was able to do that again this time, and there's a bit of fun in sort of trying to sell sets and see what people will give you for them. But I'm not a entrepreneurial capitalistic type, but I've got a lot of Lego, and a lot of that is going to make a lot of other people happier than it makes me. And if I can sell that so that I don't have to budget extra money for Brick Fair, that is wonderful. So
all right. Just a quick poll. We'll go back. How many of you have funded part of your trip to a Lego convention at the yard sale? I have.
A tiny bit. I brought stuff, but it didn't sell. So,
well,
I've had multiple trips where I sold more than I paid on the trip.
Nice.
My first garage sale experience was in 2023 at Brick World, and that was like right after COVID, and everyone was packing like sardines, and I was like, nah, I'm out of here. It took me like 10 minutes to walk in and get out, and I didn't even go in that far. It was crazy. So I haven't, kind of set me off to doing the yard sale, but I don't know. It might be a little more tamer now, but
they do 2 yard sales at Brick Fair. At least they did this year. They did it on Thursday and they did it on Saturday. And on Thursday I sold a fair amount of stuff, and on Saturday I was like, this is all stuff that didn't sell on Thursday, so is anyone going to want it today? And I decided to do it, and I figured that even if I didn't sell anything at all, that was 2 hours I was spending trying to sell Lego instead of spending money on Lego, which is what I otherwise would be doing at the yard sale. And so I did sell a little more on Saturday too. And I don't know what kind of great deals I missed out on. I'm blissfully ignorant of what kinds of amazing Lego sets or bulk brick I missed out on. It was good. I had a little more space to, in my Lego room, and a little more money, and it was good. Aside from that, there were some amazing builds. This was one of the first events in a while where, unfortunately, there wasn't space for everyone's mocks. Todd, the guy who runs Brick Fair, is running into a problem where, enough people are bringing enough large mocks, that he doesn't necessarily have space for everyone. There were even stories of people who had registered their mocks in advance and showed up on Wednesday, and just there wasn't space for all their stuff, and I feel really bad for them. But there was a large quantity of great builds, and the quality is also very high. I feel like maybe 10-15 years ago there was some less above average things that we were seeing, but the building quality is very high. The one thing that stood out to me as the most impressive is a collaborative build of a sort of Northern African Middle Eastern city that.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I forget the name of it.
It's like the Arabian New Hashima kind of.
Yeah, a lot of the people who worked on New Hashima were working on this instead, and they did it last year in the summer, and that was pretty impressive. But this year was much bigger, and it was. There's just something very wonderful and beautiful about 30 people coming together and building an amazing thing that you'll never see again together in that format. You know, some of that stuff is probably broken up into pieces now, or will never be gathered together in that format again. It was very impressive. And some of the lugs also had some very, very good stuff. So it's cool seeing some of the lugs, like, you know, Charm City lug, for example, the Baltimore lug puts on a really great show. And yeah, some very, very cool stuff. Very, very, very nice stuff.
Yep, what he said. So this is number one. This is just a pro tip. If you're going to a convention, register your mocks. And I'm the world's worst, you know, because I sometimes don't estimate well. But you really need to. If you're not doing the collab, you're not plugged in the collab, and you have a giant castle that fills a table, don't just say, it's a base plate. I mean, there's a whole lot of cooperation that has to happen at a show. So space is limited.
So Magnus, you're saying like people who did register their mocks couldn't display their mocks?
I spoke to one individual at least who registered like a lot of mocks. He probably registered the equivalent of 3 tables of mocks, and they ended up giving him about the equivalent of 1 table spread out over 2 different areas, because he had stuff in different areas, and he was just told there wasn't space for more, even though he registered in advance. He registered like months ago. He showed up on the day, the first day of the event, and for whatever reason, there wasn't space for his stuff. I feel terrible for him. I saw very little. I saw 1 or 2 places where they could have smushed mocks a little bit to make space for a little more. So that's clearly a thing they need to figure out. But it was not one of those events where you go and there's a lot of free table space or just not very good stuff on display. There was a lot of really good building, a lot of inspiration. And I don't know what it's like for the rest of you all, but I never go to these things and get Legoed out. Like, I might be exhausted, but I never come back and say, I don't want to touch Lego for half a year. I always just have so many ideas and so much inspiration, and it is, it's wonderful. And that's how that's how I feel now. It's wonderful just to have what I want to do.
So, yeah, if you that's the other thing. I've been a coordinator, like an area coordinator for Brick Fair 2 or 3 or 4 times, and it's actually a hefty job, and I had to give it up because it was becoming more stressful than I wanted to have and be there. But to be a coordinator means you need to police your area and just be that guy that says, hey, we need more mocks on this table. You need to scoot down and do it. And if I'm there with a bunch of stuff and I see somebody who needs some space, I will either stop putting stuff out or whatever to say, okay, you have this space right here. You take it all, because I've been there, done that. If seriously that guy was his first time, that would be terrible. I'm not blaming, and I know you're not either, not blaming Todd or organization or anything. This is the way it goes. I've been at big events like that where they're filling space with banners because they haven't had a lot of stuff. So, that kind of thing. So it's a good problem to have, I guess. But yeah, make room for somebody if you can. And when you're at a convention, that's part of being cooperative as well. So, how was the public attendance for, because there's always the battle between Brick Fair and Brick World and all that kind of stuff. So how was the attendance?
Todd did not announce whatever the attendance was, which he sometimes does. But having been to these events before, it seemed to me about average or average plus, like maybe not record breaking, but definitely not like a disappointing showing. I'm guessing there was I hope Todd made enough money that he can keep doing these things. And it's fun to show stuff off to people who are wide-eyed and excited. And if you're a little less tired, I enjoyed Public Day more than I sometimes do. I think I was just better at pacing myself, so I wasn't as tired by the time Saturday morning started. Sometimes I've definitely sat there really kind of not enjoying all the questions and all the stuff, but the public are just there doing their thing.
So did you hear how many people registered mocks at all? Not just like public attendance, but
so I actually heard that the number of registrants was lower than it has been before, possibly less than 1,000. In the past, it's been over 1,000. But the mocks were taking up more space than they have in the past. And I wonder if maybe more people are building more stuff or more people are building big stuff. But there also are far fewer teenagers with non-building parents in attendance. So maybe it means that, like, I don't know if there were fewer people showing up and displaying, or if it was just fewer people registering and maybe accompanying someone. One of the things that I thought about in terms of finding space for things, if space is becoming, a limited commodity, if you're building something really big, or if you're building some kind of collaborative thing, think about going vertically rather than spreading out. One thing I thought was really cool that I would love to see more of, there was one collaborative, there was one lug that had a table, and one of the things was like something that just spilled off of the table and went straight down from the edge of the table down to the floor. So you're really working vertically. If you're using that space between the edge of the table and the floor, just imagine if you would go to a Lego convention and, a fair number of things were just really vertical like that. And of course, it's a bit of a pain in the ass if you're not a little kid to like get down and look at something that's really down on the ground. But that gives you, if you're building something vertical like that, it really it catches the eye. And of course, there's also a lot of lighting that happens now, doing they call it World of Lights, when they turn the lights off for a couple of hours on maybe the Friday, and more people are lighting up their marks. So it's at a point where if you didn't light up your mark, you might feel like, I wish I'd done that, or I need to up my game for next year.
Hey, I found this. This was 2014 Brick Fair. This was the line to get in, and it goes all the way past the barbecue joint on the sidewalk.
No, it wasn't like that this time.
Yeah, this was 2014, right after the Lego movie, so the craze was bigger. But yeah, the crowd to get in, they wrapped around the barbecue joint, Willard's at the end. So
hopefully that prevented some people from getting into Willard's.
Dude, Willard's in those days was really good, and I still have, you and I have different barbecuing tastes that I don't know. So, but we both agree the what we had in oh gosh, where was it that was really bad?
Waffle House.
Oh, that
Hey,
place on the south side of Atlanta that we went to after Atlanta Brick Company.
Yeah, it was old school, and it was just not good anymore. No.
So, Chris, there is a comedian on Netflix called Dusty Slay. He's got a new special. This is the first time I've heard of him, but he talks about Waffle House a little bit, and how people who have never been to Waffle House are always, when someone that likes Waffle House a lot finds that out, they always try to like make sure like they get that person to go to Waffle House, and then they always oh well, usually it's better. Like they're always like trying to, like trying to defend the Waffle House experience. And like he said something about how when you get coffee, like the meaner the barista is, or the crappier the place is, the better the coffee is. So when they got to Waffle House, they asked how the waitress was doing. She's like, "Yeah, I'm having a terrible night. I need to go smoke." And he's like, "Yes, this is gonna be good." But it just kind of reminded me of that time in February when you were like all gung-ho about having me go to Waffle House for the first time.
Yeah. And you got that.
You're like, this would have been good if we came like an hour later.
Yeah. the girl that was waitressing us, it was the end of her shift, and she was done. And then, Southern Fried tattooed, she had a cigarette butt, hanging out her mouth.
Yeah.
She was handling the table next to us, and she was the full show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and then the cooks swapped out too. Like it was this young girl, and then like this weathered man came in to replace her.
He was humming Foghat as he came in the
Yeah.
back and everything. Yeah. So it makes a difference.
The truth is that when you get that kind of weight, that staff, it's like the southern version of hibachi, where like they're putting on the show while they're giving you the food. But instead of like lighting the onions on fire, she's like, you know, slinging the hash while she's dishing about her neighbor or whatever.
It's true.
Um,
It's absolutely true.
Curious about the attendee numbers. I'm wondering if any of that has to do with the fact that international people aren't traveling as much into the States also.
Like Canadians.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they're like, I know like a lot of the shows, a lot of Canadians definitely go to them.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, like, I'm wondering what the attendance was for international folks this year compared to previous years.
There's at least one individual who I shall not, who I don't need to name, but
Well,
there's at least one international individual who's not Canadian, who did not come to this event, who often comes, and he it wasn't really a matter of principle for him, but he just didn't want to deal with the risk of running into some person with a power trip at the airport, and that's really unfortunate. I hope he's given good reasons to reconsider next year. But yeah, we're definitely missing some of the regulars.
Yeah.
Was it Chris Martin from Coldplay?
What's that?
No, I'm kidding.
You're mixing his memes. There shall be no mixing of memes. Leviticus 35.
Don't mix your memes. Anyway, so Steve, have you been? I know you've been to Brick World. Have you been to Brick Fair, Virginia?
I have not. It's on my list. I'll get to it eventually. I'm starting to plan out. I think Jeff, I'm gonna pass on Bricks in the Six this year.
Understandable.
I think I'm gonna try to build whatever I'm gonna build for April, and try to do Slopes, Colorado, and then Brick World, and then maybe one more after that. We'll see.
You're gonna use up all your introvert energy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brick Fair, Virginia is always this time every year, like early August.
First weekend of August.
First weekend of August.
Yeah.
Which was always hard because that's when Jake would start back to school, and when he was in elementary and high school. So that kind of cut out that trip for us. I'm actually considering it. Jake's out of school. It's actually a dead spot in a lot of ways for me. And all that kind of stuff. It might be I could do it next year, so I'm thinking about it.
It falls like this.
Todd is doing a. Sorry,
that's okay. Go ahead.
There's going to be some kind of a Brick Fair event at what's it called? Somewhere in Pennsylvania, just north of Philadelphia, sometime in the fall, maybe in November. And I think that's the first time they're doing that. So it'll be presumably a much smaller event, but. If anyone is in Philly, or if anyone has an easier time traveling in early November, that's a thing to keep on your radars.
This was Chantilly, right?
Yeah, which is Chantilly is like by the Dulles airport, and is the big one outside of DC. But they've also started doing something in a place called Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is a little further away, but also very close to DC, just a little further south in Virginia, and they do that in the spring.
Everybody knows Fredericksburg. That's where the Union forces marched against an impregnable Confederate line, and one of the generals is like, "This isn't a battle; it's a slaughter."
Well, I think you should come to Fredericksburg with a mark of that and display that next year in Fredericksburg, and that's what I think.
You know what? That reminds me, and I need to reach out, and I haven't talked to John Ruddy. Was he there?
Ruddy? Yeah, John Ruddy was there. Yeah.
Was he there?
Good.
Yeah, John was there.
I was worried about it.
Having dinner with him just last night.
He disappeared from all social media for a while, and I got concerned. I'm glad he was.
No, he's doing well.
Okay.
All right. I need to reach out to him and say hello. I just haven't in a long time.
I messaged him, and he never replied. I was like, okay.
He doesn't like you.
I know. I'm an ass.
Because he did all the historic stuff. I need to tell him he needs to come to Charleston and hang out. I'd love to hang out with him and walk around and stuff like that. That would be great.
Is there history in Charleston?
Just a little. Just a tad.
Isn't there like a really old church there?
There's a couple. Yeah. But anyway, so so I'm considering going. I would hate to say I might have to give up ABC next year to go to Virginia. It's a toss up. I'm not sure. But I don't think I would. I think I could do both. Because I was considering
You're considering Chantilly next year.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. Because I mean, that's where 2002 it started going. So I might as well go back.
Right? Yeah. There was also someone who I forget who it was, but they had a bunch of white and blue spaceships that looked like they were very inspired by some of your work.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know
did you display?
Did
Magnus, did you display this weekend?
I did. So I have this modular landscape that I display my stuff on, and I've often done wargaming or done military or GI Joe stuff on it, but the last few times I've been doing castle stuff. So this year I've displayed like it was a big spread with a couple of castles and medieval ships on it, and of course now my mind is racing about what do I build for next year, and it might be another big castle.
Nice.
I think I saw Nick in here. Did he pop in a second ago? How are Nick and Dan? Did they do a collab this year?
Yeah, they did. What's it called? I forget what it's called, but they have some kind of a racing spaceship thing where they wanted to do a collaboration with a bunch of people where anyone and everyone was welcome to join in, but it wasn't going to be the sort of thing where they had to organize that much stuff or coordinate a bunch of different segments that had to fit together. So They have these kind of portals that spaceships fly through like a big race, and they build the portals, and then everyone shows up with spaceships, and it looked really cool. It looked really, really cool.
Those guys are awesome. I miss hanging out with those guys. So, yeah. All right. I cannot build and talk. I'm giving up on the stupid car. Anyway, I got something backwards, and I'm like, I can't not. Xenoball Run, is that what it's called?
Yes, Xenoball Run, and I'm sure that picture's online. It's probably wrong about it. It looks really good.
Yeah. First week is cool. It is worth props.
Only there was a Discord where you could hang out and chat with those guys.
It's true. Do you hang out in there, Magnus? Do you come into the big Bricks and Beer?
I'm on Bricks and Beer, but I don't go there regularly. I wasn't sure who was on there, but it sounds like you're all on Bricks and Beer.
Well, I show up like once a month and then like post a bunch and then I'm gone. So
he does drive-bys.
I do.
They're like, "Hey, Chris is here." Oh, and he's gone.
It's true. Well, I don't even keep up with my Lugs Discord. It's just I don't have time to sit there and read it and everything. I feel bad being in my office and reading that stuff. It's not that I couldn't, but I just don't.
Hey,
Discord is also one of those things. Is if somebody's talking about stuff, I'm like, I don't know what these pronouns are connected to. Who's to? I have to go scroll back a month and then find the start of the thread or whatever people are talking about, and then that just gets me all ADHD and I'm out. So
I don't love Discord either, but I've accepted that it is a thing.
Yeah.
There've been a number of times on Bricks and Beer where I'm messaging Mark going, okay, who is user 235? Is it someone I've met or not?
And there's so many people who go to these events now and they don't put their name on their badges, and they put something snarky on their badge. And I'm like, I'm trying to subtly look at your chest because around where your nipple is, because I know I've met you before, I recognize you. And I'm trying to not make it super obvious that I don't remember your name. And then there's some kind of silly thing on there, and it's clearly not them.
And Magnus becomes to be like, their guy was like, he was really staring at my nipple.
Are you saying we should all get bricks that say my eyes are up here?
Yeah. There's this guy with a white beard just looking at everybody's nipples. It's really weirding me out.
One badge on each side, right?
Okay, so I had a shirt that was, especially when Marvel was at its peak, and it was like a periodic table of superheroes. You know, it had all DC and all that kind of stuff. It had like Atom, and it had an A, and it had his colors in the block, all that kind of stuff. And so I walk in. I'm at a kids camp, and I'm one of the leaders at kids camp, and I walk out, and there's a bunch of kids, and all of a sudden I look, and there's like 15 kids right here, pointing and grabbing my shirt and looking at my chest, and I'm like, this is. I'm out. I'll be right back. And that shirt it's gone. It's just that is a way to Firesville, and I'm Mall Santa. So, you know, so yeah. There you go. You need to do that. That's awesome. I would have given you money if you'd have said before pre-show. We'd have said Magnus will consistently use the word nipple on the show. I would have put $10 on it, and said no, he wouldn't. But there we are.
That was on my bingo card.
He realized that we were short Dana, so the number of double entendres was going to be dramatically lowered. So he stepped into the void there.
It's true. It's true. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I missed it. Anyway, so, oh goodness gracious. All right. So Magnus, are you doing any more shows since we're talking shows in your attendance? Are you doing any more shows this year?
I am considering doing the one just north of Philly. I imagine that I'll do either that or Fredericksburg next spring. Possibly not both, but we'll see. It's less than it's becoming less about the money because I'm realizing I can fund these things by just selling Lego that I don't use. But you know, there's a vacation time and stuff like it. There's something if you're spoiled and you're used to going these big shows where there's like 1,000 people. There is something very nice about going to a quieter show where, you know, maybe you don't bring as much stuff, so you don't have you have an hour setup instead of an 8-hour setup or whatever it might be, right? There's something nice about that, but you know, there's also something kind of underwhelming about going to a 300-person show if you're last, there with over 1,000 people.
Right.
It's like seeing your favorite band doing an acoustic set, instead of a big stadium thing.
It's like Bruce, but without the E Street Band. So.
Yes, exactly. It's like Springsteen without the E Street Band. Like you're there, and you respect that you're there, and it's like, but it's not quite as exciting.
But it's like going to a Wings concert.
I will say that that was my experience going to Brick Slopes out in Salt Lake. It's much smaller. But you get to have extended conversations with people. Like that's the one thing that I'm noticing now is, now that I'm an international Lego celebrity and I go to these big shows, like everybody wants to talk to me, and I'm just like, I never get to have more than a 5-minute. But you go to a smaller convention, you can go around the hall and you can literally talk to every builder who's there. So you feel like you kind of saw all the good builds, and you get a chance to talk to all the people who did interesting stuff, and like. You just can't do that at these big shows. I mean, you just can't, because it's just hard to even get around and see everything that's on the floor, let alone the person who built the super cool thing. They're not at the table at the time. And so you're probably not going to circle back and chat with all those people because it's just the way it works out. It's just so big.
Yeah, but I mean, also if everyone were like, I only want to have a 1-hour setup and I'm only going to bring some small stuff, then there'd be nothing big and cool for people to see, So, I usually do my big show is at Chantilly when I have like the big thing I set up this year was smaller than I've done in a very long time, but it still was a 5-hour setup. And I spoke with some people who were doing this Disney World setup that took 2 people 24 hours or some crazy thing like that.
They did have one huge collaborative display at Salt Lake, and it was the Northern Utah Lug. Nut lug, and yeah, they're aware of the double entendre, and they had won some like project where they submitted ideas to Lego, and they got like 1 million bricks, and they built this huge collaborative display. It was based on Avatar.
Tree?
Yeah, the tree, and I was like, there's no way they're gonna get that torn down, but they were boxing that thing up. Like I couldn't believe how quickly they were disassembling that thing. So. It was so there. Even at a smaller show, there are still some big displays that were out there.
Yeah, the Brick-a-Many that I'm going to be doing is Friday, Saturday, Sunday show, and I'm trying to get in Thursday night to start setting up because my castle takes a good portion of a day and a half. A day for setup, and then like the other half day is just for figure placement and stuff like that.
Right. Jousting takes up a lot of time.
Jousting's actually in boxes. I just plop and drop it. But it's just like the fields and all that stuff, like getting all the characters out for those areas. So.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I made a conscious choice. Part of it is just moving. Part of it's I'm trying to figure out, am I staying? I mean, I'm staying with my lug at home, and I've got a new lug here. And who do I display with? I took one thing, maybe two, just to go and plop that down and not coordinate a table, not be in charge of an area. I mean, I took a few spaceships on the corner that were easy to pull out of the bin, and then visited and talked with folks and got to go to meals with folks and not felt stressed and all that kind of business, and enjoy hanging out with my son who's there and let him and his things kind of shine on everything. And it was fine. It used to be, I always felt like, especially going to smaller shows, but even knowing that even sometimes at shows that Todd would put on, especially in Alabama, if you didn't bring a bunch of stuff, he would have some empty spots because it was a medium-sized show, smaller show now. And so you kind of felt that weight of responsibility. Now, if you're at the point where if I don't bring something, there's folks who are having to leave stuff at home, then, hey, I'm here to, maybe I'll bring a piece or two or collab with a collab. And I got some grief back channel to me that it's like, well, you decided not to do this, so we didn't do it. I'm like, it ain't on me. I mean, it's, you can put that collab together without me and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm here, I need to have them at least one or two shows where I'm just there to hang out with my friends and not have to worry about, coordinating the table, like being an area coordinator, or helping somebody set this up, or waiting on somebody to set their stuff up so I can set my stuff up. And those frustrations that can build in, I just wanted to hang out with my friends, and it was okay, so
we all know who you're talking about.
Maybe.
and historically, at least at Brick Fair, the people who have been theme coordinators have also often been some of the prolific builders who bring large things that take a lot of time to set up. I'm certainly including myself there.
Yep.
And ideally, the theme coordinator would not be spending, 8 hours setting up that thing. They would be there to take care of the theme as a whole, and maybe, so no, these things are big, massive, stressful, wonderful events, and we're lucky to have them.
Yeah. Oh, we are. And much appreciation to everyone who puts on convention. Todd and Nick and all the guys who do the other shows like Brick Universe and all that kind of stuff. Our friend Joe, who put on one. Joe, who carried on Brick Fair that one extra, or Brick Fest that one extra year, and all that kind of stuff. Joe Fest, and that was a great time. That was probably of the old people that did space. Jeff was there. Magnus, you were at that show, I know. But
yeah.
Like we had old guys like Palmer was there, and Tom McDonald, who was no longer with us, was there, and that was kind of that capstone of that original crew from the early 2000s of space guys that were all there. So Joe Fest, yeah, that was a great time. It was a lot of fun.
I have to say, after all these years, I never considered myself one of the spacers that were there because you guys hung out together.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really part of that group because I was hanging out with the Toronto guys, I guess, more, and I was shy, I guess. But it's nice to be included.
You are included. You're that was the year you brought the big Canadian spaceship that was made out of the hockey panels. I love it.
Yep. And years before that, I brought a Moonbase module that had the big Classic Space logo in transparent brick, which I still have that logo somewhere up on my shelves. Oh yeah, hold on. Might not be able to see it, but it's no, it's buried back. I can't get the angle. Anyways, it's back there.
Sweet. Yeah, but those were good old days, and conventions have evolved and become bigger and bigger and bigger, but it is definitely worth the price of. There it is. Yeah, I remember It's amazing.
Cool.
That was
You-
on the roof of my moon base.
Yep.
So
If you, I mean, I know there's people even in lugs and the lugs that I'm in that complain about having to pay to display your Lego. Well, you got to pay for the venue, you got to pay for the event, you got to pay for the security, you got to. It's worth it because you basically then get access to everything for days and days beyond.
You get to hang out with hundreds of nerds and get to check out all their nerdy stuff. And
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And the
Because
amount of money.
if you don't take that time to walk around, you're going to miss you still miss half the stuff while you're there.
Oh yeah, and you know these things are becoming a little more expensive. When I think about the money I spent on registration for Brick Fair, which is more than it's ever been before, that's still, you know, no more than probably the amount you could pay to feed yourself for 2 or 3 days. Like it's at these events, like it's a small amount compared to what the overall cost of the event is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there's cheap options for feeding yourself and doing all that kind of stuff. Airbnb in with a bunch of buds and stuff like that can cut costs too. It's worth the investment to go if you can afford it. You at least need to go once and do it. All right. Any other comments on conventions? Magnus, thank you for letting us know what it was like. I'm glad it's still steaming on really good. And it's always, I can remember, I remember going to a show and then the next year they're like, they're going to open the doors and let people come see it. Like they're doing what? They're going like, yeah, they're going to have public day. That was when we were at George Mason and they were like, yeah, Sunday afternoon from so-and-so and so-and-so, they're selling tickets so they come look at our stuff. I'm like, why are they doing that? You know? So
Serious?
yeah, I remember because we went to one where they didn't do that. Or one or two. And then I mean it pays the bills, you know what I'm saying? So but yeah. It's weird.
I just want to note that the putting away of sorted brick has now reached the point where the last little bits that don't fit in other drawers just get tossed in one drawer and get shelved. Oh, there's no more room in the brick drawer. It's going in miscellaneous.
Or it's where you used to go to New Elementary when they show new parts and you're excited. Now you're like, stop it! I don't need those. Stop it! I don't have drawers for those. So yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for listening to our stories of being old. I had a good crowd in here tonight. Missing some of our friends. But tune in next week. We will talk about more nerds. Maybe we'll talk about should Lego stop making new parts or
no,
or do they need to I tell you what, one of the things is they need to back off the number of sets, because if you compare the number of sets per year from 20 years ago to now, it's incredible.
They're making too many spacemen and too many colors. It's expensive. They need to just stop that.
You shut your mouth.
Can we officially talk? Can we officially show pictures of the Spider-Man stuff, or is that still no bueno?
I think it's not official yet, so I don't want to do that. So, but maybe by next week it will be.
If it's not on Lego's website, it's not official yet.
For the record, though, Chris was complaining a few days ago on one of our chats about having to he was getting annoyed at having to search for all the different parts to build lots of space figures, and then he says, "No, you're not allowed to stop producing them." So pick a lane, Chris. Pick a lane.
No. I can ride that meeting all the time. This sucks, but I'm gonna get it, dadgummit.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Lego.
That's right. All right. Hey, everybody. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Be awesome and build awesome. Be kind to your neighbor. Get ready for loud noises.